Hey guys, Collins here. Today we are back with a brand new video. Today we're taking a look at Riley Dennis's video. Not all white people reverse racism. Seriously. And yeah, we're taking a look at this video. Essentially it talks about all white people being racist. Once again, all us white people are real racist, bro. We are obviously very racist. Very racist. Very racist indeed. Let's start the video.
Look, before we get into this video, I just want to note that obviously I'm really white. And when I talk about white people, I don't mean it in a those white people kind of way, like I'm somehow detached from that. When I say white people, I mean myself included. I just don't want it to come across as like, I'm one of the good ones.
Oh, no one will ever think you're one of the good ones, Riley. We all know that you're a scam artist. We all know that you are the cancer of YouTube, so yeah.
Because I'm still learning how to combat racism and white supremacy myself. A person of color experiences some kind of racism from a white person. In frustration, they say, white people are horrible. Not all white people, you shouldn't generalize us like that.
Exactly, I agree with the I agree with the white person. You shouldn't generalize all white people like that. I hate to break it to you, Riley, but not all white people are racist. Not all white people are sexist. Not all white people are homophobic. Not all white people are even fully white. I'm white and I'm also Asian, so stop generalizing, okay?
That's reverse racism. These white people.
It's not reverse racism, it's just blatant racism. There's no such thing as reverse racism, it's just racism. Do we need to look up the definition of racism again? Because if we do, we could easily do that. We did it in the Milo Stewart video. I can easily do it right now if you want me to.
People, the ones who constantly scream, not all white people, and reverse racism, argue that making a generalization about white people is just as bad as making a generalization about people of color.
Because it is. No matter what color you are, no matter what person you discriminate against, it's bad to make generalizations about them, okay? Just saying.
I think that saying white people are horrible is just as bad as saying black people are horrible.
You saying that it's just a generalization is true. It is just a generalization. It doesn't matter what race you're talking about. You saying that blank race is bad, or blank race is bad, or blank race is bad. No matter what race you put into that blank, you're being racist. It's just that simple. Or at the very least, you're making a racist comment. I hate to break it to you, but it doesn't matter what skin tone you're talking about. It doesn't matter if you're talking about white people, black people, Mexicans, orange, yellow, pink, My Little Ponies, the bronies. You know, it doesn't matter what you're talking about. If you discriminate against one group of people because of their race, that's racism, even if it's a white group.
But if you look just a little bit harder at the cultural, social, political, and historical context that these phrases are set in, it's pretty easy to see that they are not equivalent statements.
Historical context? We need no historical context. It's just racism. It's just that simple. Me saying white people are bad is just as racist as me saying black people are bad. Well, what's the difference? We're all human, and we're discriminating someone because of their race, whether they be black or white. What does it matter what race they are? Whether you say a black person is horrible or a white person is horrible, you're still saying a race is horrible because of their skin tone. That's racism.
I mean, black people in the US were slaves, and then they were considered 3/5 of a person, and then they lived under Jim Crow segregation laws, and even today they still experience systemic racism on a daily basis.
Oh, slavery. You want to pull up the whole slavery argument? All right, Riley, we got you covered. White slavery. Let's look that shit up. The white slaves are Barbary, ancient origins. I'll leave this link in the description if you want to check it out. But yeah, it talks about how the Europeans were enslaved by the Barbary courtiers, and there's many sources you can find. Just Google white slavery.
The prejudice and discrimination that was built into our institutions and systems didn't go away overnight with the Civil Rights Act of 1965. Racism and, by extension, white supremacy both still have a deep hold on this country.
But in all seriousness, though, guys, I mean, yes, racism will still exist. There's always that one asshole who will be a racist no matter what. But we just gotta live with it. There's always gonna be hate. There's always gonna be bad. There's never gonna be a perfect world where everyone is happy. Happy. Unfortunately, that's not how the world works. It's always going to be that one asshole, Jim Bob, out there who's being a racist retard. But on the end of the day, we just gotta remember that if we just ignore the hate, it'll go away. It's just that simple. Just ignore it and it'll go away. But yeah, I admit there is racism still in America. It's just that it's not as prevalent as it was back in 1962 when my great-grandpappy passed the Jim Crow laws.
To be a person of color in the US today means to live under a system that was not only not built for you, but was built to harm you. If you don't believe that people of color are marginalized and oppressed in a way that white people are not, you're just being willfully ignorant.
I'm not being ignorant. I'm just saying it's a fact. Yes, I admit, 50 to 60 years ago, there was segregations. The African American black people had it rough. They had the shittier schools, they had the shittier fountains, they had a shittier life. I admit that. But that was 50 to 60 years ago. In 2018, or when this video was filmed and uploaded in 2017, that wasn't a thing. You see, even now, yeah, I admit there was still some racism, but it's not nearly as to scale as it was 50 or 60 years ago. Right now, these black people can use whatever toilets they wish to use, even if it's the female toilets, because transgender toilets are a thing now. It's such a fucking retarded world to live in right now.
Anyway, the point of all of this is just to give you some background for why generalizing statements about white people versus generalizing statements about black people are not equivalent. They don't exist in a vacuum. Black people in the US have been oppressed and continue to be oppressed in ways that white people will never fully be able to understand.
But when it comes down to it, that's my biggest issue with this video, is because Riley doesn't seem to understand that, it doesn't matter if Group A was oppressed or Group B was oppressed, or which one was oppressed more or which one was oppressed less. It honestly doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, if you say Group A is horrible because of their skin tone, and you say Group B is horrible, or you say Group B is horrible because of their skin tone, you're still being discriminatory either way. Just because Group A was not oppressed doesn't change the fact. You saying that they're horrible is just as bad as saying that Group B is horrible, even if they were oppressed.
So when you say something in 2017, knowing everything that has happened up until now, your words live in the context of this time period, in this culture, in this political context. They can't be separated from that.
I get your words can't be separated from the fact, but at the end of the day, anyone with a actual brain stem can probably tell you for a fact that both saying either one is incredibly racist.
Let's say you're a white person and you say black people are horrible. In a greater context, you are a member of a group that oppressed black people for a long time and continues to do so today.
Now, I admit that comment is racist and you're kind of all objectifying, or whatever she said, oppressing, black people, but at the end of the day, you're just being racist. There's no difference between saying that and saying white people are bad. Either way, you're racist.
I can already hear the white people chiming in saying that they weren't alive during slavery, so they shouldn't be responsible for it.
Exactly. I wasn't around. I could not stop it. And if I could, I would, but I wasn't there to stop it, so sorry.
Like, sure, you're not directly responsible for slavery, but you continue to benefit from the oppression of black people, which has had its roots in slavery.
2 points to make. First of all, what am I benefiting from? How am I benefiting because my great-great-great-great-grandpappy used to whip the slaves in the fields? What am I benefiting from? I'm not exactly rich. Sure, I have this microphone here, this handy-dandy microphone. But other than that, and of course this handy-dandy camera and this handy-dandy monitor. But, and this handy-dandy light. But I don't live in a fancy, fancy mansion like a motherfucking Jake Paul. I don't do that. What did I benefit from? The only thing I can think of is the fact that I'm actually alive because my great-great-great-great-grandpappy wouldn't have met my great-great-great-great-grandmother if they weren't whipping slaves together. Second point, yeah, I'm not directly responsible. Again, I could have stopped it if I want. If I could, I would stop it. Honestly, I would have loved to stop it. I would have smacked my great-great-great-great-great-grandpappy across the face and said, "Hey, bitch, that ain't not right. You ain't gonna do that shit to them black people. That black person over there is gonna be my friend. Alright? We cool? We cool? We cool? We cool? But bro fist, bro. Bro fist." But also, since so guys, I mean, first of all, I'm not benefiting. Secondly, I can't stop it. So what do you want me to do?
Which which has had its roots in slavery. That's a fact. And I know white people get really sensitive about this, and I get it. I used to be in middle school too. And I wanted to believe that I lived in a system that was fair and equal and
You do live in a system that's fair and equal. It's called America, bitch. In America, you can do whatever the fuck you want as long as you're not as long as you're not disturbing my human rights. As long as you don't steal from me, as long as you don't murder me, as long as you don't harm me in any physical way, shape, or form, you can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, sure, there's limits. You can't do cocaine, you can't do crack, but I'm pretty sure you don't want to do that anyway. I mean, hey, in America, you cannot have your penis inverted into a fucking vagina. You can do that in America. You can't say you can do that in all countries. I'm pretty sure in fucking North Korea, if you went up to Kim Jong-un and said, "Oi, Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un, I want a vagina instead of a penis," Kim Jong-un would say, "Are you fucking gay? I am Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un. You want a penis instead of a vagina?" "No, Supreme Leader. I want a vagina instead of a penis." "You want me to cut off your penis?" "No, Supreme Leader. I want you to invert it." Why are you asking the Why are you asking the Supreme Leader of North Korea to chop off your penis? I mean, invert it. I am not a doctor. I am just a fat, chubby man. Kim Jong-un jokes are the best.
So I'm not saying that white people need to hate themselves or have guilt over this. I just think we need to recognize our role as people who have benefited from racism and who are a part of a group that has oppressed and continues to oppress black people.
So how can we stop this? Can you if you're gonna tell me that if you want me to just accept the fact that I'm benefiting off of racism and fucking misogyny and all the other gay crap, please tell me, how can I fix this? How can I redeem myself? How do I do that? Do I just paint my face black and run around the neighborhood yelling, "I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready to be a nigga"? Seriously, what do you want me to do? I obviously have to fix this issue. What do you want me to do? Why are you telling me that I have this huge problem by being white, but not posing a solution? It's like me saying, "Oh, I'm a repairman Randy, and you have a broken pipe right there. Yeah, that pipe is real broken. I'll see you next week, bro." Are you gonna fix it? "I'm Repairman Randy, not Repairman Randy." What the fuck are you even talking about? Fix my pipe. I paid you to fix my pipe. "I'm Repairman Randy. I don't fix pipes. I just tell you there's a problem." You're fired. Tell me or give me a solution.
And then we need to work to fight against that. And part of what that means is that when you, as a white person, say black people are horrible.
I don't say that, though. Is there anything else I can do to stop it? Because I don't say that. I don't go out and say that horrible racism. I don't say that racist line ever. So is there anything else I can do to stop this racism? What else can I do, Riley? What the fuck else can I do? Can I shank myself? Should I just... I'm gonna do it! Shank, slitting my throat.
Oppression of black people that white people have been doing for a long time. You're continuing that racist cycle. You're adding fuel to the fire. On the other hand, if a black person says white people are horrible, it doesn't have that weight behind it.
It doesn't have that weight behind it? Yes, it does.
It's just an expression of anger against an oppressor group.
Like, seriously, if a black person says white people are bad, if a white person said black people are bad, they're both racist comments.
Black people insulting white people hasn't had anywhere near the same impact on white people. They're just on completely different levels.
Because unlike the black people, we're not pussies. If you tell us we're faggots, we don't give a shit. We have balls. We can actually take criticism and hate speech. The black people just scream oppression. I have bigger balls than these black people who can't take a racist comment. I dare any one of you in the comments to call me a yellow motherfucker because I'm Asian. I dare all of you in the comments to tell me that I'm horrible at driving because I'm Asian. I dare all of you in the comments down below to tell me I have a small dick because I'm Asian.
The best analogy I can think of to demonstrate this kind of power dynamic in a really simple way is this. Imagine there's a queen and a peasant. Obviously the queen has a lot of power and the peasant does not have a lot of power. Now the peasant can point at the queen and say, "Throw her in jail," and it won't have any effect. The guards aren't going to listen to a peasant. But if the queen points to the peasant and says, "Throw her in jail," then the guards will listen and the peasant will end up in jail.
I don't get it. Are you trying to say that the white people can say anything they want and get away with it, but the black people can't do anything? Because I hate to break it to you, but in 2018, that's not the case. If I see something incredibly racist towards black people, I'll get my ass whooped. Again, and again, and again. But if a black person says something racist about white people, oh, that's totally cool, because you're talking about white people. They're racist already, so, you know. We don't care.
Both parties said the same phrase directed towards the other one, but one of those phrases had a lot more power because of the context.
No, because one person had power and the other one didn't. And white people in 2018 don't have more power than black people. In fact, white people and black people are kind of on an equal level. Like, there's no... actually, I don't fucking know. But to be perfectly honest, neither white people nor black people are really any higher than each other. They're kind of on the same playing field now. If a white person says something racist towards a black person, I'll get my ass whooped again and again and again. So, I mean, what are you trying to say, Riley? Are you trying to say that I can make whatever racist comments I want and get away with it?
If I told you that story, but I just said there were two people who each shouted at the other one, throw her in jail, without any context, you'd probably be confused as to why only one of them ended up in jail.
I'd be confused, not because of me knowing what power they had. I'd be confused because this whole analogy you're making makes zero sense anyway.
Or didn't have, and the general context behind it all. That's why reverse racism isn't a thing.
Yeah, reverse racism isn't a thing. It's called just racism.
Racism hurts and oppresses people of color, not white people.
Yeah, I may not face systemic oppression, but neither do the black people right now. Okay, look, I know that a lot of people try to criticize people who make this claim, but it's honestly really true. Having a black president really shows that a black person can really do anything in America without much oppression.
In anywhere near the same way that people of color do. Okay, so context matters when it comes to generalizations, but also when white people say not all white people, they're usually taking a complaint about racism and making it about themselves. The only time I've heard generalizations from people of color about white people has been after a person of color has experienced some kind of racism. So, for example, let's say a person of color on Twitter tweets something about systemic racism. In response, they get a bunch of ignorant white people replying and calling them racial slurs and saying that racism doesn't exist and all of that.
Show me that tweet. Don't just make up false evidence like that in midair. Actually show me some real evidence. America isn't a completely racist country. Does it have racism in it? Yeah, sure, maybe. So does every other country.
In response, they say something to the effect of, I am so tired of white people. They're horrible.
And that is still a horrible comment to make. If you're tired of haters, just say, I'm sick and tired of these haters. Don't say, I'm sick and tired of these white people. If I had a bunch of black people in my comment section telling me how horrible I was, I wouldn't say, oh, how horrible. These black people are horrible. No, I would say absolutely nothing, because I don't give a shit what you say about me. You can call me a racist, bigot, cunt. I don't care. Unless you give me constructive criticism on what I can and cannot do to change, I will not reply to your comment. Just that simple.
That's when the not all white people crowd comes in. Some white person pops up and says, not all white people are like that, I'm one of the good ones. In this way, all that saying not all white people does is absolve that white person of any guilt and make the situation about them.
Because that white person didn't make a racist comment, so why should this person say, oh, I hate white people and all white people are bad? And then it's unfair. This white person didn't do anything, and this black person is saying that this person's bad for doing nothing. What a shame.
Why do you have a need to insert yourself there and defend yourself?
Because I'm white and you're calling me racist. I'm not racist. I need to defend my honor.
It doesn't make the situation any better. It doesn't get rid of the racist nonsense that person has had to endure, and it doesn't challenge it either. It's just a very indifferent, don't worry, we're not all like that.
Because we're not all like that. We have to convince, the people of the earth that not all white people are racist. Again, we have a few bad apples, but don't let the bad apples spoil the bunch. I'm not racist. My friends are certainly not racist. So, why? Making that generalization is really racist. To say that all white people are racist is wrong.
Which isn't too reassuring, I'd imagine, since that doesn't negate all the racist bullshit that person gets. It's just a way of making yourself feel better, and I've never seen it improve a situation or combat racism in any way.
I don't think she gets it. I'm not racist. Not all people are racist. Not all white people are horrible. A select few are, but not all of them.
Understand that you want to defend yourself and you feel like when someone makes a comment about white people that it affects you. But the truth of the matter is that you're going to be just fine. Generalizations about white people are not going to hurt you.
Oh, if that's the case, then I guess you can make generalizations about black people and be perfectly fine. Hear that, black people? If I make a generalization about you, you're gonna be A-okay. Oh wait, no, that's not her point at all, because guess what? She's a hypocrite. You see, black people have gone through slavery. Oh, boo-hoo. Black slavery in America. Boo-hoo. That means, guess what? I can't say anything racist about you, but you can say racist shit about me because I was never oppressed. Oh, boo-hoo, boo-hoo.
They're not going to contribute to unfair housing discrimination against you or lead to a racial hiring bias against you
Affirmative action.
because you're white. Remember, context matters. White people are not hurt by generalizations about white people in the same way that people of color are hurt by generalizations about people of color.
Affirmative action. Look it up.
Unarmed black people are shot by police regularly because of the generalization that they're violent and dangerous.
FBI statistic from Miles Stewart video. Let's go! Oh, look at these numbers. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at all these beautiful black numbers right here. Look at them all. For the most part, these black people account for almost a third of the crime. Yet, black people only make about 12% of America.
White people don't have a comparable generalization that affects them like that. There's no comparison. So I get that your feelings as a white person might be a little hurt by a generalization about you, but it's
not really. I just think you're stupid.
not going to result in any real-world systemic bias against you. So stop trying to downplay the frustrations of people of color by saying not all white people. Just let it go. If you're a white person who's genuinely working towards anti-racism, then I don't think you would feel the need to assert not all white people at every chance you get, because you would know better than to center your own feelings in these discussions. So yeah, I think that's everything. Basically, just remember that the context of statements matter, not all generalizations are created equal, and saying not all white people is not productive or helpful. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.
So yeah, that's the video, and if you didn't catch it, Riley Dennis essentially said that if you're white, you can't make racist comments against anyone. Well, if you're black, you can make racist comments against white people because you were oppressed 250 years ago. We cannot hurt the black people's feelings, but we can most certainly hurt the white people's feelings. And just know, if you're truly working to end racism and you're white, you shouldn't have to say that you're not racist, because the world automatically assumes that you're not anyway. Oh wait, that's not true. The world naturally assumes that you're racist. Well, maybe not the world, but a lot of people do. So let that be known that Riley Dennis thinks you're a racist because you're white. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, big fat like. Leave a comment down below telling me how much of a racist bigot I am. And anyways, hope you guys enjoy. Goodbye and farewell.